So just to let you know about that. Now the program I prepared in advance for semi-freestyle show on Wednesdays, I'll go on the air as soon as I get back from the cardiac therapy. I'll be ready to go on the air. If I get prep done ahead of time, I should be able to go on the air at that 3 o'clock time slot on Fridays, or rather on Wednesdays. Okay. Now the GJRB schedule update podcast, it was scheduled to upload tonight. That's canceled. Okay, that's canceled. I pulled that off because things have changed since I last recorded that. Okay, so with that in mind, I've decided to do something different there. Okay. New procedure, and the reason I said it before is because of these big changes that are being made in the program schedule. Okay, that the reason for the changes. The reason for the changes is that I have decided that things have to things are changing here at GJRB, okay? And, really, when you think about it, I've Spreaker cut me 15 minutes. Spreaker cut me 5 hours. So, really, I'm down to maybe half the schedule I used to be, okay? Really. And I have to change things. And that means what it means. I have to go back and I need to change my programming. So that's what I'm sitting there doing. I have to reschedule and reformat everything. So with that in mind, this whole season, this whole GJRB Colorful Freestyle Fall Spectacular is done early because everything has changed. And all programming is up for grabs now, okay? All programming has changed. And, I'm sorry about that, but, this is how it changes here. Because like I said before, I'm a Diggy Wad amateur operation, okay? This is no pro, okay? This is just me doing what I do all the time. Okay, so with that in mind, this is Freestyle Friday. Whatever goes, whatever happens. So there's to it. That's how we're going to do things from now on. Okay? Whatever happens because, it's getting to a point where I get frustrated because I can't get my shows ready in time, and I try to put it together. I try to get things done on time, but just for some reason I just can't seem to get it together lately. And I don't know, it's been since this heart attack or what I supposedly had was my heart problems. I'm not together as I used to be, so things have changed all around. Like I said before, I'll have some shows on Friday evenings under this new format, but Fridays are done. This is the last Friday show, okay? All right, this is the last Friday show. I have the Gary Russen program prepared in advance. I might be able to do a Wednesday afternoon at 3 o'clock right after I get back from my cardiac thing. The GJRB schedule update podcast, again, canceled. I'll be recording a new podcast in will run for an hour, explaining the new rotated program system I got planned. I sat down and I worked on it. This is the same rotation that I use for my music. Same idea. I have a row down, and each week a certain type of program airs. Every other week we do talk shows. Every other week we do music. Every other week we do talk shows. Every other week we do music. That's how we're going to do that. We're going to alternate weeks with music and talk shows so that each program gets its individual time on the air under this new cycle. And like I said, I'll be talking about this on the GJRB Schedule Update podcast. So listen for it. On the GJRB Schedule Update podcast next week, details on this new program. Swing Time, which is very high contented, has been postponed until the spring season. And I'll be writing a new show along with that, which will be recorded for the spring season for the summer season programming. Okay? So I'll be working on that one. The freestyle rotation will mean that all shows will air that would have freestyle rotation will mean that I can air shows that I would like to have on more often, such as Swing Time, Gary J's Radio and Television Classics, Bluegrass Jubilee, Gary J's Blues House, and the Best of Jazz. And we're going to be doing Jazz Weekends here on GJRB. And I'll be explaining this podcast on a future program. I'll be explaining this whole schedule on a GJRB TV YouTube channel posting and a GJRB online on Spreaker. Okay? I'll be explaining it to you. Okay? I'm going to explain it to you on a GJRB Schedule Update podcast, which I'm going to be recording this coming Wednesday. And it'll explain to you exactly why I'm doing this and the reason for the big change in our program schedule. Okay? It's because, like I said before, I have to do this. I have to do it this way. Because there's a lot of changes taking place in the program schedule. A lot of program changes taking place. So I have to do this. Okay? I would readily do a weather on the fives, and since this is Freestyle Friday, I'm moving the weather on the fives over to quarter two. We're going to do weather on the fives at 3:45. Okay, 3:45. I'm moving weather on the fives to 3:45 today. Okay, because I took a lot of time to explain why I had to do these program changes and why I have to do these. Like I said before, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I'm at cardiac rehab, so there will be no more broadcast schedule for an afternoon broadcast on Fridays. That's done. Now, it might return next year. Depends on the situation at hand, but I might bring it back next year. But otherwise, it's done. Okay? And we had some great Friday afternoon programs. We really did. Really fantabulous. But under this plan, I have to make major changes in our program schedule. And that means that the GJRB Colorful Freestyle Fall Spectacular has come to an early conclusion. I'm going to try to do the best I can with the programs I already have on. But as far as the schedule goes, the fall season's over. Okay, we did pretty good. We last week we had War of the Worlds on. Okay, we had the church event, which was relatively short, and we had all the stuff we had planned for the fall season as far as I'm concerned. Swing Time got postponed till the spring, so that leaves us with just hanging in there for the rest of the fall. And the only thing I'm going to tell you right now is that the Bright Holiday is going to be a little different as well, but we're going to still do the American Christmas Jukebox on Tuesdays, alternate weeks with the Gary Russen program, and Way Out There, which is going to be postponed for this coming third week of the month because I'm not ready with that program yet. Because all programs on the slated schedule that I had posted on YouTube is canceled. All programs on that graph are canceled. We're moving everything around and everything is changing. Everything is changing, so all programs that was posted on the last GJRB Schedule Update podcast is canceled. And we're going to be doing a new rotated program schedule. And all programs on that program schedule are going to be different. Okay? All program schedules are changed, and we're going to be doing a cycled rotation. Okay, and I'm going to explain to you a little bit what that is after the break. But it's going to be entirely different than what I have, okay? Entirely different. And I'll explain to you all this coming up after the next segment. And we'll do Weather on the Fives. We'll start News and Comment, or what used to be News and Comment. But it's now going to be, we're going to start into the news. And we're going to talk about what's going on in the news. We're going to talk about the parade that happened today in Chicago for the Cubs. And, did you hear about some guy, some sicko in the head, some moron decided he was going to trap a woman into a cage with a leash like a dog in Chicago. I wonder where was that? And he apparently shot her boyfriend in front of her. This is a sicko. I want to talk about that coming up. I'm going to look for that story. I don't know exactly where that took place, but we're going to talk about it. Also coming up, we're going to talk about other things, and again, talk about our program changes that are being made here at GJRB. Okay? All right, so just to let you know about that, we're going to take a program break here real soon, so I'm going to be getting ready for that. And then we're going to come back on the other side with more of the Gary Russen program here on GJRB. I'm glad you could be with me today. Have a great time to bring the show to you and talk about all kinds of stuff. And try to get ready for a good show here today. And get things rolling on the Gary Russen program here on GJRB Online, here on Spreaker, across the internet. And like I said before, with this whole heart thing, it changes things in our programming schedule here at GJRB. And I'll be back to explain all that coming up next as we continue the Gary Russen program on GJRB Online.
You hear great jazz on GJRB
with the best of jazz,
up and coming jazz, smooth jazz, and smooth afternoon.
If you can't get enough of jazz and you live in the Quad Cities area, tune in to KALA, St. Ambrose University in Davenport, Iowa, at 88.5 on the FM dial. Along with some of that great smooth jazz, you'll hear a lot of great jazz programming.
And programming in other great music formats.
Like blues, urban, including rap. Also classic R&B and Motown with David Baker on Rewind, Friday nights at 6 p.m. Central. In addition, you get programming in Spanish and some great gospel programming too. For more information on that great programming you'll hear, check out their schedule at www.sau.edu/KALA. Even if you don't live in the Quad Cities area, you can enjoy KALA anywhere in the world with their internet stream. Connect with KALA, listen, and enjoy. Imagine one day tuning around on your internet radio only to find a station playing old radio programs complete with commercials and thinking, what am I tuning into? The past? You might be, or it's just GJRB Online and Radioland. A day of nothing but classic radio shows back to back with classic commercials in between, like the days of radio. Almost like your computer is picking up signals through time. Closer than you'll ever get to time travel. Radioland. After 1 year, the wait is over. Now join Pastor Ron Johnston and a panel of men and women to discuss the news and how it lines up with Bible prophecy. In this world of chaos and upheaval, this is the program that puts it all into perspective. How will we survive? God only knows. So trust Him and listen to the last 7 days.
Uploaded as a podcast or live
Every third Friday at 12 o'clock noon Central on GJRB Online.
That sound more like everyone else than anyone else.
Hey, all right, it's Kip Casper.
Spreaker is the website which turns anyone into a radio DJ. Log on to Spreaker.com for listening to thousands of radio channels and start creating your own radio today.